along in front, going very, very powerfully indeed, has come through the 2 furlong marker and is about to head to the entrance to the home straight. So Brian Hughes will take a left and be warmly applauded on Elusive Theatre for Stuart Crawford. You don't see many winners as easy as this. Still can't even see where the second is. They're yet to come back into view from the trees. Shantou Tiger is still there. But Brian Hughes is going to earn his 3rd helping of Sticky Toffee Pudding this afternoon. A treble for him, 1 for Stuart Crawford. Elusive Theatre, completely dominant over her 3 rivals. Shantou Tiger is going to be 2nd, Sussex Road 3rd, and a long way further back, Beach Hill will complete for 4th.
Yeah, treble up for Brian Hughes. That the easiest of the lot by far. Elusive Theatre, daughter of King's Theatre, has won easy as you like. 2 to 5 favourite. Never in doubt. Never in doubt, was it? Could be a nice little mare, that. And we're off to Nottingham, having seen Elusive Theatre really take that forerunner field apart. Here we are at Nottingham then. This is the 350. It's a Class 2 handicap over 1.5 miles a furlong. White Lake is the non-runner here. That's Big Baz in shot. Another touch is 7 to 4. Dragon Mall 4 to 1. Algaith is 5 to 1. 13 to 2. Casper Sky 7 to 1 and bigger the rest. What's going on there? 25 out of 33s. Puerto de Leto, nothing major, and still 10 to 1 is one word more. 15 to 8 the favourite here. Now 2 to 1. Another touch.
Off a mark of 98, he's been a really good servant to Connections over the years. Another touch. Well, he's only 4 years of age. He's still a young horse, but he's shaped the last couple of times in deep races against it. He's still very much in form.
Indeed, and he comes here in guaranteed good form. Really good effort in the big field Newbury Spring Cup. And he's just beaten by Banksy. Fastnet Tempest, the 3rd horse, has won twice since at Ascot and Chester. And then he backed that up with another good effort in the Hamilton Handicap at York, finishing 4th behind the resurgent 7-year-old Here Comes When. He had White Lake, who doesn't run, a little back behind that day. He stays very well. I think he's got to be played relatively early by Tony Hamilton. He wouldn't really want this to be a dawdle. He wants a similar setup to last 2 times. Another touch, and that might be his problem, is that he doesn't get a strong enough gallop.
There's a few to go forward, isn't there?
Yeah, there's Algaith and the 2 who are drawn wider. Big Baz, who made the running at Newbury, ran well for a long way in that spring mile, and Kaspersky has also made the running. The ex-Italian horse just had 1 run in this country at Ascot when he finished a little way behind Algaith. A slowly run race there. Neither of them particularly finished off their races. I thought Kaspersky looked as though he'd come on for the run. Algaith at Ascot looked magnificent, and he looks well again today. But it's a bit of a nearly horse, Algaith. He hasn't, obviously, must have been difficult to train. Only appeared twice last year. Ran well in the listed race at Pontefract on the 2nd outing. Big Baz is quite attractive, I thought, at 7 to 1 or thereabouts, because he's the one who might get out in front, and he doesn't have to. But he won this race in 2015 off 99, and he's just £3 higher now, and he's got a weight pull with the favourite. So he was, well, he's not 6 to 7 to 1 anymore, is he not?
He's not. Dragon Mall, he will drop in. Probably hope for a strong gallop up front.
He will. He's been a disappointing horse, I think, and he's coming back from a break after being out in Meydan and mixed form out there as well. He just needs things to drop right for him. I think his lack of physical scope meant that he didn't do the improving. He at one stage he looked as though he would. Jamie Spencer's managed to get here after a tortuous journey to ride the horse, and his style will suit him. But I think he should be staying on at the finish. But I think he's a touch underpriced considering what he has been achieving or not been achieving over the last year.
Okay, he will jump out of stall 5. Kaspersky, you mentioned, smart performer in his native Italy, but did shape nicely at Ascot.
He did, but that was a messy race, and the horses who were up to the pace as he were suited by it, and horses like Firmament and Mondialist, who came from further back, weren't. And even though it's a small field again, I can't believe they're going to go the sort of funereal pace they went at Ascot. And Kaspersky, I think, really didn't show an awful lot on that debut. All right, he wasn't beaten far, but it was a messy race, and he was well positioned in it.
His horse are running well. He's got 1 word more here. He's got form fresh as well.
Well, exactly. He won first time out 2 years ago, and he was a good fourth last year, so he can do it first time, and he's got form which puts him ahead of another touch from last season. He's another one who ideally is best with a very strong gallop to aim at, but he could go well. There's been a bit of money for him, and the Easterby horses are in extremely good form.
They are 1-2 in a big sprint at York last Saturday. Copper Knight bargain buy. They're doing so well, and the winner over Jumps as well Monday at Cartmel. Loading up at the prices, what does make appeal? Big Baz still?
Big Baz just about, yes. One more mower with double figures was certainly attractive. That's reverted to a more realistic price. We didn't mention Poeta Diletto. I thought still looked as though he might be in need of the run.
Okay. Marco Botti, Tom Marquand on board. He's going to stall 3. Last couple slotting forward. 9-4 the field. Another touch. That Horse and Shot is your favourite. Tim, once again, to describe the action.
Thank you, Niall. Yeah, another touch going in and down to the last couple to make their way in. Kaspersky and One Word More, as you mentioned, for a yard in good fettle right now. Kaspersky a little bit on his toes, just at the moment getting a pat down from Martin Harley. And One Word More having his first start for 236 days. I think he won fresh 2 years ago, so I'm interested to see how he goes. As we mentioned, the yard in good form. Kaspersky and Algafe were very close at Ascot. Big Baz, who won this race 2 years ago. Dragon Mall back from Dubai, and then you've got Poeta Diletto, who's a big price. Third start for the Marco Botti team, having won the Italian Guineas last season. Kaspersky goes forward, and last one will be One Word More, David Nolan. Just Kaspersky getting very restless. Stalls handling quickly there. Another one goes in as well. So Kaspersky out in stall 8 is a bit buzzed up, to say the least. One Word More is in. Keep an eye on Kaspersky, stall 8. They're off. Kaspersky has got away, a little bit slower than the others, didn't lose much ground though, in the Totepool Racecourse debit card betting available handicap. Good break by Al Gafe and Jim Crowley in those Hamden Al Maktoum colours, the blue and white going on. Now Kaspersky, after the tardy start, is moving up with that noseband into the lead, and maybe goes on now by half a length as they head down the far side. Big Baz is out wide, the blue and green colours. Towards the inside, very keen Poeta Diletto, pulling for its head early on under Tom Marquand. Towards the rail in red and green is another touch, tracked through by One Word More and David Nolan, and also towards the back, Dragon Mall and Jamie Spencer just about the overall back marker. So making their turn towards the home straight, and just over 5 furlongs left to cover. So it's Kaspersky looking for win number 13, who leads by 3 lengths now to Algafe in second place. Then in third is Poeta Diletto. Out to the left is the winner of 2 years ago, Big Baz. In behind runners, another touch getting a nice run through towards the far side in green and red, followed by One Word More and Dragon Mall as they head beyond the 4 furlong marker. Kaspersky has the rail and still travels well enough in the lead. Algafe in second place. Another touch is in a good position, if good enough. Being ridden is Poeta Diletto. Big Baz is out to the left, also trying to improve. In behind is One Word More and Dragon Mall. Heading down to the final 2 furlongs. Kaspersky is still in the lead. Another touch is beginning to close the gap now in second place, with also Algafe there. Big Baz, Dragon Mall is trying to run on as well. Kaspersky now being joined by another touch, and another touch is alongside Kaspersky. Then comes Algafe, Dragon Mall and Big Baz, and now another touch has hit the front and starts to extend away. Kaspersky has no answers here, and another touch for the informed Richard Fahey team will win under Tony Hamilton. Another touch takes it well. Kaspersky was second, and in behind for third, maybe Dragon Mall staying on, with in behind One Word More as well and Big Baz.
First number 7, another touch.
Yeah, 9-4 favourite, another touch wins in the hands of Tony Hamilton. Gives Richard Fahey an across the card double. Beats Kaspersky in second place for Jane Chapelheim and Martin Harley, and Dragon Mall third for David Simcock and Jamie Spencer.
Yeah, there's a few nearly horses in this race, not least Dragon Mall, but he's a real tough handicapper, another touch, and a deserved win after 2 efforts in fearsome handicaps. The pace initially set by Algafe, but once Kaspersky had been taken to the front by Martin Harley, Jim Crowley accepted the lead, or although his horse Algafe was a little bit keen early on. Big Baz was probably at a disadvantage, having to race wide in the green sleeves blue colours, and he's covered extra ground, whereas the winner dropped in on the rails in 4th or 5th place in the hoop colours of the Hansen colours, has settled nicely off a pace that wasn't too frenetic, but neither was it too slow. So, and he, with the leader coming up the middle, it made Hamilton's choices easier in the home straight.
Just momentarily, Algaith looked like he could potentially hold him in a bit.
Yeah, and as I say, coming up the middle, he swung up the middle, Kaspersky, then drifted across toward and went up the far rail. Algaith came to make a challenge in the cross noseband Hamlin silks, and just a hint that another touch might have a struggle to get a run between the two front runners, but Tony Hamilton was well aware of that and got after him early enough to get in the gap. And once he got to the quarters of Kaspersky, he looked likely to run him down, and so he did. Dragonmal flattered again a little bit, I think. He's run okay, come from the back of the field, but he never really looked like getting on terms. He's the horse in the hood on the far side, red and white colours, and Big Baz probably inconvenienced by having to race wide, but the winner had beaten him at Newbury and beat him again, and the really disappointing run was One Word More, who is in the